Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to ask two experts all about CBD oil. I'm a massive fan. I've been using it for like 3 years. I'm on the highest dose really they recommend. I found it great to relieve pain in the body from heavy training for years. I find it helps me in terms of working as an anxiolytic. So broadcast public speaking, you would not have caught me doing those sort of things years ago. And it helps me wind down for sleep as well. I'm a massive fan, but I don't know it all. And people have so many questions. So I thought we'll start off with the 5 most Googled questions about CBD. And then I thought I'll ask the experts some of my own things. I'll just be a bit self-indulgent for a minute. So we've got Imogen and Leon with us today, who work for Honest Hemp. I've been a brand ambassador for about 3 years with these guys. They're a fantastic company. Imogen, I know you as the lovely lady who makes sure I get paid and you send me all your lovely products each month, but I'm guessing there's probably a bit more to your role there, is there?
Yeah, so I'm the executive of social media and content. So if you follow us on social media, you'll see what I get up to.
Should be picking your brains for advice.
So Leon is the head of research and development. So
you're going to be the man with all the answers, I'm going to guess.
Yeah. Hopefully.
We'll see if we can trip you up.
Sure, I will do then.
Just starting with the most Googled question. So I guess this is what most people want to know. What exactly is CBD?
So CBD is a cannabinoid. It's derived from hemp. Hemp has multiple cannabinoids in them. Each one kind of serves a different function. They sort of interact with each other and interact with the body. You can kind of liken it to, say, vitamins in an orange. So vitamin C is just one part of an orange that's beneficial. CBD is the same. It's just one part that's beneficial in many different ways. That's kind of at its most basic form, what it is.
And how is CBD oil actually made?
So first you get the hemp, then the hemp goes through a series of different processing techniques and methods. Then it's basically just reduced down to its single cannabinoid or its purest form in CBD. Obviously you get different forms of CBD. Some have different cannabinoids in, broader spectrum. Some have a lot more full spectrum, but CBD on its own is just the CBD.
Yeah. And so is your product specifically like an isolate, like you're now describing, or is it more broad spectrum?
Yeah, we do 2 different ones. Mainly we do broad spectrum. So that would be just kind of a group of cannabinoids that interact with each other and terpenes. So the idea is everything interacts together and you get kind of something called an entourage effect, which is multiple different effects that are happening at once.
Yeah.
So we find broad spectrum to be the most beneficial.
Okay. And the word you mentioned there was terpenes?
Terpenes.
And they're like another beneficial compound, are they?
Yeah. So terpenes are like natural flavonoids. You get them in everything in nature, pretty much from carrots to lavender. So in lavender, you have a terpene called linalool. And that's what makes it smell like lavender and gives you that sort of sleepy, calming effect. So basically, yeah, hemp contains those terpenes and they interact with all the different cannabinoids and make different effects, beneficial effects in the body. Yeah, that's what we call the entourage effect.
Yeah, so personally, I much prefer using CBD oil that's made with broad spectrum rather than CBD isolate. So obviously when it's CBD isolate, you're benefiting from CBD, but that's it. Whereas in a broad spectrum, you've got all these other terpenes and cannabinoids interacting, and it like enhances everything basically.
Yeah, it's silly not to, isn't it? I know in terms of nutrition, you have the concept of food synergy. And so nutrients in one ingredient, if you're having like a meal with different types of foods, they can amplify health benefits of nutrients in other ingredients. You can get more cancer protection, more antioxidant action just by eating. You know, so rather than snacking, people say to me, what's a good snack? And I say, well, I would rather save the food up and have at each meal a legume, a whole grain of fruit, a vegetable, a nut, a seed, a herb, and a spice at least. And yeah, you get that. I guess that's kind of the entourage effect. I guess that's a more fancy way of putting that. I'm going to use that going forward. And I feel a bit daft asking some of these questions, but apparently they're the most Googled. Can CBD get you high?
No, CBD on its own can't get you high. There was in the early days. So as I was saying earlier, you get your broad spectrum, your full spectrum, and just your CBD isolate on its own. So the full spectrum, that's the stuff which contains traces of like THC and the things that do get you high. That's not really sold in the UK anymore. It's been outlawed. You know, someone might have brought, say, a CBD product once upon a time, and said, oh, this could have got me high. But no, not anymore. CBD cannot get you high.
Fantastic. So the next question is, will CBD cause someone to fail a drugs test? So I guess the answer is no. So we won't bother on asking that. And is CBD addictive is the 5th most Googled question.
No, I don't think there's anything addictive about CBD. I think with cannabis, it said it's not addictive, but the only thing addictive is kind of the way it makes you feel. But with CBD, you don't have to worry about that because you don't get that high that can be addictive. So no, there's nothing addictive about CBD. I
kind of find it not mentally addictive, but just physically addictive, just in terms of I don't ache like hell all the time when I use it. So, but that's something entirely different. And that's, years of lifting heavy weights that'll do that to you. So that's my own fault. So like I said, with myself, I find it as an anxiolytic. So, I can do things like interviews and stuff now. It helps with pain. It helps me to sleep as well because I'm so driven and trying to save the world and save all the animals and save people's health that, my mind's going crazy. But just if I take that a little while before bed, it just helps chill me out. I can calm my mind down and I can get a lovely night's sleep. Are there other benefits to CBD? And what kind of data do we have to back all of these benefits up? Is it mostly anecdotal or is there a lot of strong science now also to back it up?
The scientific studies are just generally lacking. It's not due to the amount of work really done. It's just that it's relatively new and all trials take time. So there's lots of trials and things going on, but sort of all data is just really preliminary at the moment. Mm-hmm. We've had the novel foods, which has, so I don't know if you know about novel foods.
No, tell me about that.
Basically, it's an act by the EU, and certain foods are treated as novel, which means that they need to be regulated. It's only really come in the past sort of like year, where in Europe now CBD is regulated and it has to comply to lots of different regulations and restrictions. But that means that obviously they're finding out that it has more of an effect, and it is something that's worthwhile. If it didn't have any effect, there'd be no need for regulation or anything like that. So the data is obviously looking positive.
I mean, I can say from my own experience, it bloody works. And I know so many people who, swear by it. Obviously, I recommend it to my, viewers. And when I was PT, and, I'd recommend it to so many people. And there was a phrase, the plural of anecdote is data. And we might not have loads of strong science, but if it's bloody working for you, get it in your eye. And so what are some of the other reported benefits that I haven't mentioned so far?
I mean, there's a broad variety. I mean, people use it for lots of different reasons. Obviously, there's the anti-inflammatory properties, which, help a lot with the muscle aches, the working out. They reduce the chance of DOMS. There's that sort of side of it. The physical side, joint pain. Joint pain is a big thing.
I find it fantastic for joint pain. I also just remembered I had a client when I was PTing who was a cancer survivor. And she said that CBD was the only thing that got her through the treatment. She was in so much pain and the CBD just cancelled it out for her. So it is such a good product. In terms of mental benefits, is it kind of depression and anxiety?
Yeah, there was a small study which said taking CBD before bedtime, it can have some short-term relief of depression in the morning when you wake up for a few hours. A lot of people take it for anxiety.
Also general stress.
Okay.
Even if you're not suffering from anxiety, if you're stressed out, then a lot of people find CBD really helps with that.
Yeah, very good. Are you guys fans yourselves?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was going to be a daft question. That's why I bothered asking it.
Yeah,
it is such good stuff.
The best way I describe having CBD is that, say, I'll be trying a new product or something and I'll take some, and then kind of about an hour later, I'll just suddenly think, oh, actually, I feel really good. Like, why am I feeling so good? I'm like, oh, yeah, it's because I took CBD.
In my days. I'll tell you how I came to realize its power. Basically, years ago, another company just sent me some, and I guess they hoped if I liked it, I might give them a shout out. And I didn't know what it was, and it just went in my drawer, and I forgot about it. And just one day I just came across it. I thought, oh, this is meant to be good for you. I might as well take it. And I think I'd done about 12 lots of public speaking, but I was still I was kind of clock watching the whole time and thinking, when can I get off this bloody stage, like sweating and feeling horrible. And I was at this particular talk. It was in Scotland, in the park. And I was doing my talk and I realized that I was enjoying myself. I was having a whale of a time. Then I did like a Q&A and I wasn't looking at the clock and I was wishing for the time to last longer. Like I didn't want to come off the stage. I was really thriving. And I thought, bloody hell, that was different. What have I done differently? And then I thought, well, the CBD. And then I looked it up and, oh, it's an anxiolytic. Yeah. So, yeah, if it can get me through public speaking, and I was mortally afraid of that. So, yeah, it's blinking good stuff. So thank you guys for letting me be an ambassador and sending me your awesome products each month. You're helping me to conquer the world. Now, I understand that the NHS prescribes CBD for Parkinson's disease. Have I got that right? And are there other health authorities that are now recognising the power of CBD?
Yeah, I think a lot of research now is looking at its sort of neurological effect. So that's something that's come to life recently, trying to understand the full extent of the endocannabinoid system and how kind of CBD interacts with the body.
I think it's also being prescribed for epilepsy, isn't it?
Yeah, it has done.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's where sort of, a lot of the studies, cannabis and CBD with epilepsy. That's kind of where people are going from the standpoint of legalizing cannabis. It's sort of its beneficial effects.
Yeah. Even CBD is actually illegal still in some countries. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah. Quite a few countries actually.
That's crazy. I do get some of my subscribers asking, do you guys still post to those countries? And then it's just in the luck of the draw that they'll get seized, or what's the deal? Are you allowed to do that?
I'm pretty sure you can place an order from anywhere in the world. Yeah. But obviously if CBD is illegal in your country, it's unlikely that it's going to actually get to you.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. You can but try. So sad, isn't it? People are so behind the times. It's really saddening. One thing I've been wondering about with a lot of compounds, that you get kind of a tolerance over time, and your receptor sites can down regulate, and some things you need to actually come off and cycle off and on to keep the benefits. Do we have any data on that with CBD, or anecdotally? Like how do people tend to go in terms of that?
Me personally, I've been using it heavily for 3 or 4 years now. So it definitely takes me a lot more now to feel the effects. Mm-hmm. But it's been very kind of gradual. And it really depends on, I was talking about earlier, the endocannabinoid system, how sensitive you are to it. Mm-hmm. For example, our director, he's a big guy. He's a good 6 foot. He's in good shape, but it only takes him a little bit, and he's, that's enough for him. Yeah. I'm a lot smaller, but it takes me a lot, and it really just depends on the individual. Yeah. So
I'm not sure if there's actually any research on if you can like build up a tolerance to it. There's not any that I'm aware of, but from people that I know, of my own personal experience, you do, but it's quite gradual and it takes a few years to say.
Yeah, I'm a bit unsure. It's just hard to know all the time, isn't it? And sometimes I sort of don't realise that it's kind of doing the job. And that one time, I think you'll remember, Imogen, I ran out, like it got misposted or something. I can't remember what happened, but I didn't get it for a few weeks. And my joints were like screaming. So yeah, that was a lesson to me, like definitely try and keep it in. What is the best way for people to figure out the best strength and dose for them individually?
We always advise starting low and work your way up in whichever way sort of suits you best. If you've got a graduated pipette, say, you could, try doing half a pipette and going onto a whole one, or you could just do 1 drop and try going up drops. It's just really finding your level, what works for you.
I think starting on maybe 10 milligrams per day, try that for 5 days a week. And then if you feel like you need more, then increase it by 10 milligrams or 5 milligrams each week until you get to a point where you feel that's enough for you. Okay,
that makes sense. And something I advise people is, in terms of strength, am I right in thinking it becomes relatively cheaper, like the stronger dose you get? So then I think, well, if you get a stronger one but just take less of it, then that'll save you money. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, if you buy the strongest bottle, you need to use less of it, and it works cheaper. But
And I think as well, do you still have that chart on your website where you go by body weight and then light, moderate, and heavy dose? Is that still on there?
Yeah, I think that's in one of our blog posts.
Okay. So that's really useful. And that's honesthemp.co.uk, isn't it?
Yes.
People want to check that out. How long does CBD usually take to work for people? Is it really a matter of just finding the minimum effective dose, or once you're on it, does it take a little while to kick in? How does that work?
It actually depends on what product you use. If you were to try some gummies or capsules, then it can take like 6 hours, I think, before it fully absorbs into your bloodstream. Whereas if you use an e-liquid, because you're inhaling that into your lungs, it's much quicker. So that's like bioavailability is much better.
But it's not as though it needs to build up in your system. Once you've got enough where you'd feel the benefit, it would be fairly instant, that, within a short time. Fantastic. That's good to know. Do you have any data on the long-term safety?
So this is really stuff that's covered in the Novel Foods report. Obviously, we don't have any long-term data, but every study has shown that there's no,
like toxicity or. I mean, it's a natural compound, so you would hope that should be fine, wouldn't you? I'm certainly not too concerned. And on the same ilk, really, a lot of people ask, is it safe for children and pets as well? When
it comes to pets, it's kind of an ethical thing, as in the pet can't consent to taking it. So, it should kind of not work the same way as humans, but it should have effects on pets, and it's been reported a calming effect. But obviously,
we don't personally make any pet products or advertise our products to be used on pets because we're not sure. So, but I know that some companies do make specific like CBD for dogs or whatever, but it's a little bit unknown at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, just my little anecdote. Again, it's not scientifically backed, but this is what happened for us. We had a cat, Mitzi, and she was really in a bad way. She had kidney issues and she had all sorts of going on, and she really was on her last legs. It was like she was going to die any day. And we thought, what's the harm in giving her like the tiniest little, tiny little drop? And it perked her up. And I think she had another good 6 months. She suddenly perked up and did amazingly well. So I would say, but of course, they're so much smaller. You're going to need such a tiny, particularly with like a small cat or whatever. So I guess take that into account. Anything you guys would like to add before you go? Any new products coming out?
Well, we recently launched some new hemp active gels, which people are interested in. So they don't actually contain CBD, but they're really good for if you go to the gym or, if you have arthritis or joint pain or anything like that. We've created a range of active gels specifically for that.
Yeah, I liked the cold one, particularly for muscle soreness. That was good.
Really nice.
That helps me get back in the gym a bit sooner sometimes.
Back, I find it so good for that.
So I've literally just come out of a meeting where we were discussing doing the gels, but with actual CBD in them. So
oh wow, that sounds like a good idea. What is the deal with gels? Does it, I mean, obviously I guess it penetrates the skin. Does it get into the bloodstream then if it's topical, or how does that work?
With gels, it's kind of more of a technical thing where the gels are designed to stay on your skin and just release slowly over time to give you sort of like a constant dose.
But that is penetrating into the muscle then?
Yeah, so it will go into your bloodstream through your skin. It's just, as Imogen was saying, bioavailability is reduced as it would be if you're taking it orally.
Sure. But also, so you have your endocannabinoid system in your body, but you have cannabinoid receptors in your skin, as well as internally. So when you put a CBD product on your skin, it will interact with those receptors in your skin, as well as absorbing deeper.
And so what does it do in the skin then specifically?
I'd say mainly like anti-inflammatory effects, antioxidant effects.
Okay. It can have antibacterial effects too.
Yeah.
So it can keep me healthy and make me look even more handsome. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Make you laugh, Imogen. How dare you? Right, guys. And again, if people want to find you, it's honesthemp.co.uk, and you're on Instagram as well.
Yeah, it's at honesthempuk.
Fantastic. Guys, I've learned a lot. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
No problems.
Cheers, guys.